Last video of the year. Well, what could we do as a nice little treat? Could do another spirit science video. Ha ha ha! You're not that lucky. No, we're going to do something fun for me, because I deserve it after this flipping year. And it's been a while coming. You know what it is. You read the title that is presumably related. I mean, I don't come up with the titles till about 5 minutes before release because I'm an idiot. But hey, we will see. Ray, bet you can't make the silliest argument ever.
Hold this, Kirk.
See, if you pretend that's beer, it's just hilarious. Did you just say I can't do a big damn? Hold me Foster's kick.
Behold the atheist's nightmare.
Ah, my nightmare given form. Why would you make me behold this, you evil man? Nah, just kidding. Bananas aren't my nightmare. That would be ridiculous. My nightmare is the one where I'm being chased by tattooed pigs on motorcycles, aka the hogs on hogs. I don't know what they're gonna do when they get me, but you can bet it's gonna smell of bacon.
Now, if you study a well-made banana, you'll find on the far side...
Well-made banana? Okay, I mean, even you must know they're grown, right? Even if the original thing was designed, like, say, a GMO, it's still got to be grown. I know it's nitpicky, but when you're so smart and making the best argument ever, TM, you would think that maybe in your polished, for the time, probably quite expensive to make video, you wouldn't make such an error. Or it's not an error and a way to... What's the opposite of poisoning the well? Whiskeying the bucket? Yeah, that. Either way, bad Ray, go sit in the corner and think about what you've done.
There are 3 ridges. On the close side, 2 ridges. If you get your hand ready to grip a banana, you'll find on the far side there are 3 grooves, on the close side 2 grooves.
Bananas are groovy, man. I could dig that. But this description of the apparent exacting nature of the design of bananas... That's not the only type of banana there is, though. You have been to, like, a shop before, right? They come in different shapes and sizes. I mean, they are all bananas, but, like, there's not one type. In fact, interestingly, to me, because I'm a huge dork, the type of banana we see most today is not the same as it used to be. Currently, it's the Cavendish as the most prominent banana, but it used to be the Gros Michel. They even tasted different. I'll let myself out.
The banana and the hand are perfectly made one for the other. You'll find the maker of the banana, Almighty God, has made it with a non-slip surface.
And yet that same almighty maker didn't make it. Sorry, I meant give it the ability to become genetically diverse in the way that we grow them, at least, because the reason we changed bananas is the Gros Michel died out due to them all being clones of one another and not having the genetic variety needed to fight off a particularly voracious disease. And the same thing is very likely to happen to the Cavendish, because we do the same thing. The fact is that the perfectness of all bananas is their greatest weakness. You would have known that if... Who am I kidding? Like you're even capable of knowing anything, you thick twat.
It has outward indicators of inward contents. Green, too early. Yellow, just right. Black, too late.
Okay, this is irrelevant to your point, but actually bananas are best when they look like this. And if you look at that and think, ew, sick, stop making disgusting jokes just to shock me into laughter. No, you stop. Bananas that look like that are goddamn delicious. And you can keep your gross hard bananas to yourself until you learn how to food.
Now, if you go to the top of the banana, you'll find, as with the soda can makers, they placed a tab at the top. So God has placed a tab at the top.
So wait, God was inspired by the soda industry? Well, I never. That is really a fascinating little fact. Who knew that the carbonated beverage industry existed before God himself? Although when I think about it, it doesn't really surprise me that much. I mean, Mr. Pepsi Cokerson is way more famous and loved than that guy, and basically owns the planet.
When you pull the tab, the contents don't squirt in your face.
Hey, that's too easy, man. I ain't saying penis joke or nothing. Ah, god damn it, I did it on accidentals.
You'll find the wrapper, which is biodegradable, has perforations.
Biodegradable and with perforations. God, with this banana you are really spoiling us.
Notice how gracefully it sits over the human hand. Notice it has a point at the top for ease of entry. It's just the right shape for the human mouth.
Found my thumbnail. And really, dude, is that how you eat everything then? You must really struggle with anything wider than a banana, like a sandwich or my fat cock.
It's chewy, easy to digest, and it's even curved toward the face to make the whole process so much easier.
Just like my fat cock.
Seriously, Kirk, the whole of creation testifies to the genius of God's creative hand.
Of course, like the spleen. No, wait, that doesn't do pretty much anything except randomly kill you. Oh, I know, it's like how you use the same pipe for breathing, eating and drinking, so that occasionally it randomly kills you. I think God might be the jigsaw killer.
The toilet has been clogged with 2-ply paper towels and dirty socks. If you do not fix it in the next 27 seconds, it will overflow.
Right, so I know many people have already covered this angle, but let's just throw it in because it is the main reason that this is the dumbest argument ever. And that's the fact that bananas and pretty much all fruit that consumers actually use for that matter is subject to artificial selection by man. That is a great demonstration for one of the ways that evolution can work, and not the other way around. You would have known that if you actually researched your ideas instead of saying, I am doing being a smart. All idea I do am the correct. No need for facting.
It absolutely does. You think of the human eye.
Oh yeah, it's Kirk. I forgot about him. And you're going to make a different but equally poor argument against evolution, aren't you? Yay, lucky me.
It has 40,000 nerve endings and focusing muscles that move more than 100,000 times a day. The human eye has over 137 million light-sensitive cells.
Right, so it's got a lot of stuff that moves about and can have information imprinted onto it. So the eye is like a beach. Would you say they require creators? Just because there's lots of sand and you can draw on it and waves move them about? No, because we know the processes that form beaches. And guess what? Regardless of their perceived complexity, we know the same thing about eyes and hands and feet. Toes are a complete mystery. I mean, look at them. They are all weird, and before you start to tell me how they're made too, I don't care. I refuse to understand something that looks like tiny fingers. That's just basic scientificerizing. If I don't like it, it's wrong.
And even Charles Darwin himself said,
To suppose that the eye could have been formed by natural selection seems, I freely confess, absurd in the highest degree.
And you certainly haven't taken this out of its proper context, have you? No! We'll get to that. But first, let's just say this is what he said, all on its own, without any other words that might change its meaning or add to what he's trying to get across. Well, there's one word in there that already makes this sound like he's not saying it is absurd. He says seems. It seems one way, but it in fact isn't. It's almost like the words one uses have meanings or something. But let's just add the following part of the quote back on, shall we? When it was first said that the sun stood still and the world turned round, the common sense of mankind declared the doctrine false. But the old saying of vox populi, vox Dei, as every philosopher knows, cannot be trusted in science. No, that can't be right. It's like he's saying that what people believe to be true is irrelevant, aka what seems to be the case often isn't in science. Mind blown!
so even the creator of the theory of evolution says it just goes against my common sense and logic.
Okay, so 3 things. Number 1, no he didn't, as we just demonstrated, you lying Schweinhund. Numero B, even if he did say that and meant it in exactly the way you are framing it, who cares? Basically every great scientific mind has been wrong about one or more or even basically all pieces of their work. Doesn't make their work not useful in the grand scheme. Maybe to kick off a line of inquiry, and more so, does not have any impact whatsoever on any part of our current understanding. If the highest authority and most knowledgeable person on a topic in the universe said something wrong on that topic, it doesn't suddenly become correct just because they said it. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And finally, Lee, just because something isn't common sense doesn't mean it's wrong. Common sense tells us that you two should barely be able to breathe. So profound is your lack of mental acuity that even the autonomic reflex of breathing should really have failed. Yet here you are, making fools of common sense every day. Well done.
And so many of these guys that we think were atheists weren't actually atheists.
No.
I mean,
Irrelevant. Someone's personal beliefs have absolutely zero impact on what reality does. For instance, you two aren't complete morons because you are Christians. There are plenty of very smart religious folks. No, it's the fact that you are completely incapable of engaging your brains for more than half a femtosecond at a time between you. Yeah, it's not quite the same thing, but I just wanted to take another dig at your intelligence because I'm such a nice guy.
Einstein wasn't an atheist. He objected when atheists used him to say that atheism was a genuine thing. I mean,
Einstein absolutely was an atheist. He did not believe in God. He called himself an agnostic. However, as we have said before, an agnostic doesn't really mean anything on its own. That's like saying you are an unsure. Okay, great. But do you with what's presented by the claim of God? Well, no. Okay then. You're an agnostic atheist. Glad we cleared that up, Einstein. It appears he did not believe, making him an atheist by definition. He did, however, not like being lumped in with what he perceived as more aggressive, angry at religion type of atheists, and didn't like them using quotes from him out of context to support their positions. Kind of like what you two are doing here. I have a funny feeling he might not have liked or agreed with you guys, for a plethora of reasons.
Einstein believed in the existence of God, and
That's
I
right.
think even Darwin did.
Nope. Both of those points are completely fabricated and false as far as recorded history tells. And even if it wasn't, and every scientist ever believed in God, and even creationism, despite what all the facts might have been saying to them, still wouldn't mean a goddamn thing. Reality does not care what you or I or anyone thinks.
What we're going to do now is teach you how to prove the existence of God, how to actually make an atheist backslide.
Wow, that's amazing. I can't wait for you to tell me your awesome argument/evidence for that. And wait, what's going on? Oh my, you're making me backslide. Oh no, right into the pub. Oh no, I guess I'll just go and have a drink instead. Have a great new year, everyone. See you on the flip side. Do you want pretty okay clothes at fairly alright prices? Then head on over to Sir Six Merch Store. There you can buy sick brand merch and not a lot else. Who needs food, water or accommodation when you can have a hoodie with my face on it? No one. That's who. I can't even afford them because I have a home. Like a moron. So get on over today before these printed to order clothes run out somehow. And you're gonna need a lot of them when you're sleeping outside on the ground with your family like that. It's cold out there. I do envy you.